Just to finish up this section, then we'll move on, okay? When you empower members, you not only lighten your load, but you foster a sense of ownership and investment in the church's activities and mission. And that's what you want. We call it buy-in. You want them to buy into what you want to see God do. You have to constantly remind them, this is what God is doing, and this is where we're going. I want you to come with me. I believe in this. We're seeing results from this. This is what God is doing in our church. And you've got to get them to buy into it. Now, will you lose people? Yes. Yes, you will. And you got to remember that ministry is a marathon, not a sprint. It's going to take time, especially if your church is very ingrained in what you've been doing and you've been doing it for a long, long time. You've got to be careful. Take your time. Start small. Get key people. Take them to lunch. Share with them your new vision, your new purpose statement. Share with them your new dream. Leave them alone for a while. Take them to lunch again. Keep sharing it with them. Let them buy into it with you. Because all it takes is a few people to buy into it, and you will see something wonderful happen. Here's another little trick of the trade. You ready? I realized that if I took people on mission trips, it would change their lives. And they would come back to Hillside excited about the community and the world. So when Katrina hit and wiped out Mississippi, when I was getting married, I was remodeling homes. Okay, so I know enough to be dangerous, so to say. I realized God laid on my heart, you got to go to Waveland, Mississippi. So I stood at my church one Sunday and I said, we're going to Waveland, Mississippi. Who wants to go with me? And I had about 14 people. I took a contractor, I took men and women, and we're going to go and we're just going to fix a house. That's it. We showed up. I found an agency that was not with the CNMA. That's okay. And they housed us and they fed us. And we went with a servant's mindset. We're going to go and serve. They had about 13 outhouses for us to use as bathrooms. I went to the director and said, Hillside will clean those bathrooms every morning. The last one was the handicap one, the really big one. We made that into the women's bathroom. So I took some of the ladies in my church and said, go to the store and buy every foo-foo thing you can and put it in that lady's bathroom. You know what foo-foo means? Smells really good, looks really pretty. And we purdied up the handicap one for the ladies. And the ladies would line up for that one. And we cleaned those bathrooms every morning. You know why I did that? One, I knew it would smell good for me. And number two, I was teaching those people we're here to serve. And the hardest thing to do is to clean a toilet. Yeah, it changed my church. We remodeled one home in that week. We gutted it out, we rewired it, we put it back together. When the inspector came on Friday, he was shocked. He says, where are you guys from? California. Oh, that makes sense. We had a smoke detector in every room. Oh, we don't do that in Mississippi. You only need one. Too late, we got 3. They put electrical plugs about 4 or 5 inches off the floor. You had 3 feet of water. That doesn't make sense. So we put them up higher. He said, why'd you put them up so high? Duh. You had 3 feet of water. You know, that makes sense. That's a really good idea. So we were known as the Californians. We came back 8 times to Waveland, Mississippi. And 8 times I would take people. And those events changed Hillside Community Church. Because then we came back to our community and said, we just saw a family lost their home on such and such a street. Yeah, I need help. We're going to go and every Thanksgiving we'd hand out about 36 to 40 turkeys with food. we adopted Phelan Elementary School and Wrightwood Elementary School. We adopted them. I went to the principals. We're going to talk about this in a minute. And I said, what do you need? Hillside will get it. We need 40 jackets. 40 jackets. Winter's coming. Snow. I got them for you. We need this. I got it for you. You know why? Because we believed in what God was doing. And I'd stand up and I'd say, folks, I need $2,000 to buy coats for our kids at Wrightwood Elementary School. I would get $3,000. Why? Because they believed in what we were doing. Does that make sense? Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. Okay? So, you got to empower them. You got to get them to invest in what's going on. Okay? And here's a big one. Here's a big one for you. Important point. Celebrate their achievements. Celebrate. Sunday morning you get up and you say, I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we took 35 Christmas baskets. We went along with the Catholic Church and Calvary Chapel and we bought 25 bicycles for kids in our community. I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Let's give each other a hand. You got to do that. Celebrate the moments with them. Okay? They will love that. Have you ever watched the Dodgers win the World Series? How many are Dodgers fans? 2 of you? Don't tell me you're Angel fans. Are you only 3 Dodger fans? Oh, we need to pray. Okay. Did you see those people celebrate? They went nuts. You know how we celebrate at most churches? Let's lift our hands to the Lord. Bless His name, for He is good. Crazy, huh? Yeah. Celebrate with them. Celebrate their achievements, okay? They will love that, okay? And provide feedback with them and all that kind of stuff. All right, moving along. Here we go. All right. Being community-minded. This is a biggie. Here we go. You must be community-minded. Get outside of your 4 walls. Amen. Get away from the us for, and no more. That means you got to change your terminology. You got to change things. When they walk into your building, they should smell, the nursery should smell good, not oh my. You don't get mama, you don't get the family. It's that simple. If you get mama to come back, she'll bring the family. The cleanest place in your church should be the women's bathroom, men don't care, and the nursery. The women's bathroom and the nursery should be the cleanest place in your church. You should spend all your money on that. Okay? Because women want to go into the bathroom and go, oh, this is pretty nice. I don't mind sitting here. Guys don't care. Okay? And nursery. You win mama's heart, you win the family. Does that make sense? Okay? You trust me on this one, all right? You'll want to do that, okay? So, being community-minded, so important. You must be community-minded, okay? Now, here it is. This involves engaging a local. Identify the needs of your community. Find ways for your church to serve and support those around it. Like I said, we adopt Phelan Elementary, which is one of our lower income schools, and Wrightwood Elementary. It's the only school in Wrightwood. Okay? We have ski programs for up there and all that kind of stuff, but there's families that are in great need. So we just went to the principals that I knew by now. One of the first things I did when I went to my community, I thought I got to get into this community. I had a master's at the time. I went to the office and I said, are you looking for substitute teachers? They said, oh, we're always looking for subs. Great. I have a master's degree. Great. Can I sub? Yes. I only had Mondays off back in the day. That was my only day off. So every Monday I would substitute. Man, it was hard. Wow. I went all over our school system. Can you sub at this school? Yes. Can you sub on Mondays? So Monday morning I'd get up and I'd go and I would teach first grade. I'm tired, man. And I'd be hanging out with these first graders. I got to tell you a story. You love these stories. I got to tell you a story, okay? So on Friday, one time I got kindergarten, half first grade, okay? And we're gathering, and they all gathered around in a little circle, and it was share time on Friday. Nancy Wheeler was the lady in my church asked me to fill in. So we all sit down and we crossed our legs and they start sharing stories. Little girl says, I have a story to share. She's okay. She says, we had to butcher some of our cattle. I said, you had to butcher some of your cattle? Do you know what butcher means? She goes, no, but we had to cut their balls off. It's good. They're all sitting around, all of a sudden they start doing this. And I look around, so I did that. And one little boy wasn't doing it. He says, I'm sorry, Mr. Morrow, I tooted. So there you go. I learned a lot subbing. I taught a lot of weird things. I went to an art class, and in the art class, all the girls show up with the fake baby with the battery. You ever seen those? Yeah. And they show up, man, I'm thinking, this is art? And they're mad. One girl, my baby went off at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was going to take its battery out. And the other girl said, you take its battery out, you'll flunk the class. Well, I was about ready to throw the baby against the wall. And I thought, whew, this is a training exercise. So they all sat down. I said, hi, I'm your sub today. My name is Mr. Morrow. And would you like to learn a little bit about how to raise kids? Yeah. I said, my kids don't have batteries. And they do go off at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I spent that next 40-something minutes sharing with these girls life. Sharing with life. One of the greatest classes I ever got to teach. I got into the community. I got to know the superintendent of our district that I write to on my phone at least every 2 months. Hey, Ryan, he's a good Catholic man. I'm praying for you today. I'm praying that God will give you wisdom and understanding. Blessings on you, my friend. He'll write back, Terry, you have no idea what that means to me. What a perfect timing that you've done for that. He loves ice cream and like some type of chocolate thing or whatever, and I'll get that for him in the middle of the summer. I'll take a whole big gallon of it. I said, give this to Dr. Ryan Holman. Who's it from? Just tell him it's from Pastor T. And he'll write back, man, that's the greatest thing. Yeah. I fell in love with my community. Did it cost me time? Cost me a lot of time. Was I worn out? Yes. When I would do high school, I'd wear my cowboy boots, maybe about 6'5". And I'd walk in and I'd say, I'm your sub for today. This is what your teacher wants you to do. Do it and don't ask me any questions. Yeah. And they would do it. Okay? Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Got to know that. All right. Here we go. All right. Community minded. Here we go. Find ways to serve your community. Get on your school board. Get on the school board. They need godly influence on the school board. Yes? Oh boy. Find local support groups. The Kiwanis. I don't care what it is. Get on that support group. These are all in your notes, by the way. You don't have to keep writing stuff. Find teaching opportunities. I have been teaching track since 1974. I was an All-American in high school and college. I started teaching in 1974. I've been in 3 communities as a pastor. Every community I went to the AD, the athletic director's office, and I said, hi, my name is Terry Morrow. I was an All-American in high school. I was an All-American high jumper. This is how high I went, and I've been coaching since 1974. Can you use a coach? Yes. I coach in my local high school. I have students who now go to my church who still call me Coach Morrow. Okay? And they're having kids. Not too long ago, I was at Pinion Mesa, one of our middle schools, and this little girl comes running up, and I could see she's got the face. I said, is your dad Nathan Pitts? She goes, yeah. Oh, that's great. I coached your dad. Now I'm coaching her. Tells you how old I'm getting, okay? Find ways, teach opportunity. Coach baseball, coach soccer. Be an umpire. Be an umpire for girls softball. That'll really stretch your faith. Hey, they're doing cheers all day long. It drives me nuts. Yeah, okay? Do you know what I'm saying? You know what's happening here? You're getting into your community. They know who you are. When I walk into Stater Brothers, I always run into some. Hi, Pastor T. Hey, how are you, dude? What's up, man? Huh? You don't think that doesn't make a difference? Absolutely. Find out. Adopt one of your schools in your community. Tell them, we will provide Thanksgiving meals. How many can I bring you? How many can you make? Find out. We'll bring you 30 of them. You get your church together, you get them a turkey, a frozen turkey, and all the stuff that goes with it, and you bring those 30 in there, you're going to touch 30 lives. You may never see those lives, but you're going to touch them. And that little lady that works in the office is going to know, Pastor Terry brought us those. And he's going to do it next year. Yes? That's how you get out of your office, gentlemen and ladies. Get out of your office and touch your community. That's how you do it. It's not hard. The world is looking for volunteers. Trust me. Go get involved. Does that make sense? Yeah. Thoughts? Questions? Offerings? Okay. Build relationships with the community leaders and other churches. Yeah, it's a tough one. Here we go. Because you are a lot more diverse than I am up in Wrightwood. But we're having more and more Korean churches are coming. I have Korean, I have a large Mormon community. I have a large Catholic community. Okay? The Catholic Church puts on a Thanksgiving meal every year. Every year. So I went to my staff and I said, we're not going to do a Thanksgiving meal, but we're going to give money to the Catholic Church. So we bless them. I give them about $250 every year, and I say, bless you. How can we help you? That's all we need is money. Yeah, yeah. The Mormon bishop was the head track coach when I started in 1995. Ken Quinn is his name. Started coaching with Ken. Ken came to me, he was the bishop at the time of the Mormon church. He says, Terry, I want to tell you something. This never happens. But our wards, there's two of them, one in Wrightwood, one in Phelan. Our ward has endorsed your church. And we don't do that. So what does that mean, Ken? That means we will allow our families and our children to go to your programs. I said, really? He says, yeah, because you've never put us down. You love God, you love Jesus, and you love families. And we started a Kid Connection program for 4-year-olds who are getting ready to go to kindergarten. It's called Kid Connection. It's a daycare school. They learn how to read and write and blah, 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 and they learn about Jesus. I cannot tell you how many Mormon families have sent their children through Kid Connection. We've been doing it now for, I would say, 28, probably 26 years. Every principal, every superintendent has sent their kids through Hillside's Kid Connection program. We did a survey and found out that the kids that go into first grade and into second grade who have gone through Kid Connection are farther along in their education. And guess what? They learn about Jesus. And we've led Catholic moms to Jesus. We've led Mormon moms and dads to Jesus. Yeah. Does that make sense? Don't be afraid of the churches around you. Get to know them. Go talk to them. Take them to lunch. Find out what they're doing and partner with them. I'm not asking you to compromise your theology. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm not saying that you agree with everything that the Muslims teach. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you want to make a difference in your community? So do they. So do they. So do it together. Because you're going to pray that God's going to use your testimony to make a difference in the community. Because truth will always prevail. And somewhere along the line, someone's going to say, hey, Hillside Church, that's an evangelical church, loves our community. Yeah. Did you know that they give money to the Thanksgiving lunch at the Catholic Church? Really? Did you know that Pastor T is very good friends with the bishop at the Mormon church? Really? Yes. Yes. Have I ever sat down with Ken Quinn and talked about theology? Well, he'll never sit down and talk to me because he knows I'm different. Right? Okay, fair enough. But why would I allow that to be something that divides us to reach our community for Jesus Christ? That's hard, isn't it? Some of you are staring at me like I got 4 heads. Yes, sir.
I'm not sure about everyone else, but at least for my church, a lot of people that go to my church aren't necessarily from that community. And they do quite a bit of a commute to the church. Is it better to serve in the community that the church is in, or the community that you live in?
All of the above. You should first hit Jerusalem and then work out to Samaria. Now, if you have a lot of Samaritans coming to your church, find key people that go back to their community and touch that community, right? So they take your dream, your vision, and they go to Samaria. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you just have to be wise to that. You may have more people coming from Samaria to your church than Jerusalem itself. You might. Which means you might want to start a satellite program in Samaria that represents your church. Does that make sense? Good. Good question.
Pastor, can I have one question? So like the Cambodian, majority of Cambodian are Buddhism.
Are Buddhists.
So, yeah, Buddhist. So when they have the event like at the temple,
yeah,
as a Christian, if you were to go there to evangelize or to just, like connect whatever, does it make like it look like we're going to stumble the new believer, or it's okay?
So I'm not asking you to go to the Buddhist temple.
Okay.
But what I am saying, are the Buddhists reaching out to their community? Are they doing something? Are they having a blood drive? Are they having a food drive? Are they? Piggyback with them. We're going to have a blood drive, and we're going to reach out to people to give blood for our community. Be a part of that. I'm not asking you to go to the Buddhist temple. I'm not asking you to go to the Mormon church. See what I'm saying? But if the Mormons are doing something in the community, I can be a part of that. Or I can be something and invite the Buddhist. We're going to feed the hungry in our community. We'd love to invite you to come be a part of that. Okay? Now, we're not putting up a big banner. Hillside Community Church, evangelical, fundamental, Bible believing, we do not like Buddhists or Mormons. We're not going to put a sign like that. We put no sign up. Okay? It's not about us. It's about us reaching the community. And if the person standing next to me is a Buddhist, we're reaching the community together, and guess what? I get to talk to him. And I'm going to win the right to tell him why I did this, in hopes they see Jesus. Have you ever read the book of Titus? The book of Titus is one of the few books in the Bible that says, get in your community, don't get out of it. But we have a tendency in the evangelical church to say, don't become a part of your community because it's corrupt, it's bad. The reason why it's corrupt, it's bad, because we haven't changed it. And Paul told Titus and Timothy, get into your community, change the community. And the only way you do that is you got to get into it. Yeah? Is this hard? Is this going against everything you've ever been thinking or taught? You'll never invite me back again. I can see that already. Oh, well, we're going to have a really good lunch, though. That'll be good, huh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One thing that I've been talking to Pastor Paul about reach out to the community, because our church in Pomona,
yeah,
there's a lot of Cambodian in Pomona. So I was talking to him, the only way that we can reach out to them is when someone in their family dying.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So from our church, we put like $150 here from our church. Just,
there you go.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
In the time of need.
Yes.
This from our church. So let them know.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. Our church never charges for a funeral. And we'll do a funeral for anybody. Anybody. And I don't have to be the pastor doing the message. Yeah. And the community knows that, because we're one of the larger buildings in our community. We don't have a lot of buildings in our community, okay? We're a small community. I can seat about 350 people in our building, okay? We've had students die in motorcycle car wrecks, okay? The principal of that school comes and he speaks. I just opened the place up. It's yours. People come. We have a coffee corner. I've told you about this, called Hebrews Coffee, okay? We have coffee. We have juice. The guy that used to own the McDonald's in town, dear friend of mine, Dave Molina, I go to Dave. Dave, I need orange juice. He'd bring things free, orange juice, for the kids that were coming, all that kind of jazz, okay? We'd have cookies galore. We opened it up to the community. No charge. No charge. So if you need a funeral, our place is your place. Okay? That tells your community you care about them. Yeah. So the old guy up in Wrightwood who's been there for 40 million years and he dies, you can have the service. Well, there's only going to be 20 people. I don't care. It's yours. Okay? Yeah. That shocked the county when we built our new building. One of the highlights of what we were going to do, one reason why we wanted to build this new facility is so we could reach our community for free. And the director up there in San Bernardino County in Victorville said, "You're going to do that for free?" I promise you, it's for free. Really? I said, "Yes, ma'am, it's for free." She says, "I've never seen a church do that." Does it cost us? Sure it does. Sure it does. It's worth the cost. Yeah? That's right. That's right. It's about the community. It's not about me. Make sense? Okay? All right. Okay? Partner with local food banks. Organize regular food drives. Work with a nearby school. Provide tutoring and mentoring. Whoa! You guys have groups coming in from Taiwan, Cambodia, kind of stuff? Offer that for free. Okay? Mentoring programs for students. That's a big one, huh? Have that. Make that work for them. They will appreciate that, okay? Create, and here's the thing. Create a welcoming and inclusive environment within the church. How many of you had a harvest festival, a Halloween thing this last weekend? Okay? Ours is called Harvest. We had trunk or treat, okay, on our campus. Didn't cost anybody a thing. Didn't cost anything. We had gazillions of cars and gazillions of candy given out. They guesstimate about 500 or 600 people came on our campus. Everybody knows where Hillside Community Church is. All the kids know if you go there, you get a lot of candy. Okay? Yes. Do we allow Halloween to be its Halloween? No, we call it Harvest Festival. Okay? It's our way of reaching the community, and they know that. It's a safe environment. The candy it's not laced with fentanyl and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay? You have to think about that. My community is big on that because the stores in Phelan and the stores in Wrightwood, they shut down the whole town for Halloween to give out candy. Okay, let's be a part of that. Okay, so they go to Phelan, they get their stuff, they drive to Hillside, halfway between Phelan and Wrightwood. They come in and get all their junk, and then they go up to Wrightwood, and the kids all, are sicker than a dog for 4 weeks. And we contribute to that because we love our community, okay? That's how that works, all right? All right. Community meals, support groups, cultural events can help foster a sense of belonging and connection. How many love old cars? Yeah, have an old car rally at your church. You got a beautiful parking lot.
That's right.
Oh man, can you imagine? You'd have people.
And we're old.
And you're old. Yeah, just think about what your car's like though. Okay? So just do that. Look beyond the walls of your church. That's the key. Get into your community. Figure out what's going on, okay? Now, here's how. How are we going to do this? Here it is, okay? Organize mission trips. Vacation Bible school programs. How many do VBS? Only one of you? Vacation Bible schools. Kids love it. Get up-to-date programs. It's going to cost money. Pray. Cost money. But it'll make a difference in community. Kids love Vacation Bible School. Sports camps. How many have sports camps? Do those. Have them on your campus. You could have basketball, you can have football, you can have baseball, you can have soccer. You'll have gazillions of kids. And if it costs you $3 for the football, charge them $3. Don't charge them $15. You're ripping them off and they'll figure it out. Okay? Participate in the community. Cleanup programs. These are huge. Go to your local community and say, what needs to be cleaned in our community? What needs to be painted? Oh, we're working on such and such a project because it's been tagged so many times and we need to paint it a certain thing. Our church will do that. Our church will do that. And you go and you do it. And that's how you reach out to your community, okay? Here's some other things real quick. Thanksgiving, Christmas events. Christmas Eve service. It's one of our largest services we have in our community. Everybody comes. The Mormons come. The Jehovah's Witnesses come. They all come. Because Christmas Eve is huge. We do it for 1 hour and we sing all the old Christmas hymns. They love them. And the preacher talks for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I don't know why I'm pointing at you, but 10 minutes. Okay? Yeah. It's not a time to evangelize and have an altar call. It's a time to celebrate Christmas. You know why? They might come back on Sunday. They might come back. Yeah. Good Friday service? Yeah, Good Friday service. They love that stuff. Yeah. Super Bowl Sunday outreach. Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. You're not a football player? You a guy?
I couldn't call you related.
There are programs that you can buy that you can play during halftime that have a Christian message by Christian football players that share their faith. Oh, yeah, baby. And you know what we did in our church? We clear out the whole auditorium with the chairs and we bring in sofas and we bring in recliners. And we have a popcorn machine. Oh, yeah, baby. And we have all kinds of candy. And people are kicking back watching the Super Bowl on our gigantic screen. Oh, yeah. No beer. Not yet. I am retired. And at halftime, we play a wonderful video with Christian football players sharing their faith. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Will pre-believers come to this event? Not a whole lot. But you might get that old guy because if it's the Green Bay Packers or it's somebody they really love, they might come. They might come. Okay? Harvest events, like I just talked about. Trunk or treats. You want to do that kind of stuff, okay?
And Terry, can I say something that's been really
Yes, sir.
successful here is anything to help kids with their education. We've hosted a spelling bee.
Oh, yeah.
We've done computer labs, things that, because parents are very much into their kids.
You bet.
Especially like this. It's a Chinese-Korean church, so they really want their kids to get straight A's.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
That brings in a pretty big crowd.
Yeah.
And they've come back to church, some of them.
Oh, that's what you hope for. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to kind of throw this out there because I grew up here. I mean, I was thinking when I was very small, so a little more Americanized. So my kids are in high school, and we're in like little leagues and stuff like that for baseball, soccer. And it's sad to say that in the Christian community, they judge us as being like our kids are gangsters for playing football, for playing baseball. We've been told this many, many times. So I'm happy that you threw that out here to know that it's not wrong. To play sports, because it's sportsmanship, it's team player, it's building, team spirit. And even just us being, we're from New England, so we're Patriots and Red Sox fans. So just us watching football, we're sinners. So I'm glad you're letting us know that's not a sin. And we do harvest fairs, harvest trunk or treat, stuff like that. So the kids are not out there dressing as like
Which is
stuff. We're doing like princess stuff. But even doing something simple like that, we're criticized, we're judged. So I just kind of want you to like emphasize a little bit about that. It's not wrong because we're taking them away from the drugs, from the bad things. We're trying to, mentor them into a better thing.
Yeah. Well, I come from a divorced family. I'm a divorced kid. I've had 3 moms.
Wow.
And what saved my life was sports. Okay? One of my greatest coaches in junior high was Coach Thornton. I don't know that he was a godly man, but he was a good man. And Coach Thornton watched over me and protected me and provided for me an environment that I could grow in. And so sports became very important to me. I found Jesus when I was 10, and I fell in love with him when I was about 14. And by then, I'd figured out that I was pretty good in track. And track became my life. And I was fortunate enough that at the junior high and high school that I went to, there were Christian track people. Okay? And that saved me. And so I recognize that sports can be that outlet that a young person needs. My family, we would never let our kids miss church on Sunday to go to a tournament. Okay? Unless, there was always grace, we're in the championship. And that's not fair. Now you're punishing your kid and his team. Okay, so that was rare though. But if there was a championship and it started at 10, then my son or daughter could go on a Sunday. Otherwise, we said, Sundays to us is where we go to, as a family to church because we love God, not because I'm your dad and I'm the pastor. I never, ever did that to my children. I never required my kids to be a certain thing because I was a pastor. Okay? My kids love Jesus, and I hope that's one of the reasons why. You know what I'm saying? So I allowed them to do that. My daughter was a cheerleader. Incredible. She was on a competition cheer. Phenomenal girl. Phenomenal. Loves Jesus. Has her kids around. She was a phenomenal cheerleader. And we loved every minute of that. Do we have to travel a lot? All that kind of stuff? Yeah. Did I get criticized for it? I was at a Promise Keeper. I took a whole bunch of guys from my church. There's about 30 of us. Went to Promise Keeper. Do you remember that stuff, guys? Okay. On the last day of Promise Keeper, they usually invited all the pastors to come up, all kind of stuff. Well, on that last day, my son was in a baseball tournament, a big one. I left early to go to his baseball game. When I got back to church the next Sunday, one of the guys in the group stood up in the middle of the service and criticized me for leaving the Promise Keeper with the guys. And he ripped on me, and when he sat down, I said, hey, by the way, Don, Promise Keeper was teaching us to be godly fathers and godly men. And as a godly father, I left that afternoon to go be with my son who was playing in a baseball tournament. So shame on you for criticizing for being this way. He left our church.
Good.
Okay, but I'd had enough. Okay? And sometimes you got to stand for what you know to be right, and you let the critiques be the critiquers, right? And you have to live with that sometimes. And that's...
And he should have done it in private at the very least.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, yeah. I've had all... I mean, we had a guy stand up in the middle of our church for the first 3-4 years I was there. He was in charge of Awana. You guys have Awana? Okay? I'm sorry. Okay? And he was the Awana director, and he stood up in the middle of the church service and said, I'm sick of being at a Bible study. I want preaching, because I'm a teacher, not a preacher. And him and his family left in the middle of the church service. Yeah. So when he left, I stopped and I said, is there anybody else that needs to leave? Now would be your chance. Everybody's going to stay? Okay. Let's keep going.
There you go.
Okay? I can be ornery, Monica. Okay? But sometimes you just have to draw the line. You just have to. And you can say, my kids love sports. This is an outlet for them. And I'm teaching them to love Jesus. And sports will teach them to be a good team player. And when I have an opportunity to share with them, when they come home all mad because they struck out, and all I'm going to say, hey, listen, buddy, that's how life is. You're going to strike out a lot. So when you think you're going to strike out, bunt. Bunt. Because sometimes in life, you just have to bunt and hope you get to first base, right? Yeah, that's life.
He led his team, like, before every game, they would huddle and pray.
There you go.
So that was amazing.
There you go. My grandson, who is 6'4", plays lacrosse up in Washington State. He gathers all the lacrosse people. They're all about this tall, and he's about this tall, and he leads them in prayer. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's amazing. My son sends this video to me. Look what Carter's doing. There you go. That's right. Yeah. Sometimes we have to allow ourselves to be a parent. Okay? Ministry's got enough headaches of its own. We don't have to beat ourselves up. What else are you thinking? Okay?
Terry, can I?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that was excellent leadership that you did there with those people in the congregation. And maybe you've said it already, but isn't it true that most pastors resign because they try to please too many people?
Yeah.
You just have to.
We're going to talk about that in the second session,
Second session,
about
okay.
pleasing people.
Okay.
Yeah.
That burns you out.
Yeah, if you're trying to make everybody happy, you better give up now.
Right.
Because you don't... Yeah, I can't even make myself happy. Yeah. You know how I drown my sorrows? Dr. Pepper and Snickers. I'll often tell people, you're driving me to drinking. I'm going to have another Dr. Pepper. You know, so yeah, it can be rough, right? All right. Leading from the middle, training and empowering church members, and being community minded are essential principles for a small church pastor. It's just essential. And let's just really lay the cards on the table. You ready? You are a small church pastor. It's okay. You're not Rick Warren. You're not John MacArthur Jr. You will never be Rick Warren. Don't try to be Rick Warren. But you ready? But you need to present like you are a Rick Warren. Those people in your church deserve the best from you. They need to have programs that are the best. Don't you dare compromise. Oh, well, I'm a small church pastor. You need your bottom spanked if you act like that. Shame on you. When you present the programs and stuff, you're going to present it like you are a 23,000 member church. You're going to give them the best. And you're going to offer that to them so that when people come into your church, they're going to think you're 23,000 people. Because if you don't, then you're not giving them your best, and you're not giving them Jesus. And Jesus is the best. We have the best product. Be a good salesman. Sell Jesus. He's the greatest, the most wonderful. He's life-changing. His shoes will never wear out. That's the greatest shirt you could ever buy. You've got to become that kind of a salesman, saleswoman. Present to them the best every time. Well, we just have one coffee pot. Then make it Kona coffee. Well, we just bring a little bit of goodies. Bring 2 goodies. Well, we have a very small nursery. Make it the greatest small nursery you can. You got somebody at church who's a good artist? Put elephants on the wall. Put monkeys on the wall. Have all kinds of fun things in there. Yeah. Make it look like they've gone to Saddleback. Are you following me? Because when you settle for less, they'll settle for less. And then they won't come back. Because you know what they're used to? Television. High programs. They can stay home in their pajamas with their coffee and their whatever, and they can watch the church of 50,000 people. And the music's phenomenal. And they're going to say, man, I had a great day at church. And they'll never connect with the body of Christ. And that's what it's done to us. It's disconnected us. Connect with them. Have the best you can. If you still have an overhead projector, get rid of it. You can buy these beautiful TVs back here for almost $300. Call Philip. He's got money. There you go. Philip has money. Ask him for $300. He'll buy you a TV, right? Stephen, look at it. Stephen, what, you got 5 kids? He's got money. You see what I'm saying? You want to go online? Don't do it on your iPhone. Go get a camera. Go buy one of those things. Take Michael's. He'll give it to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You raise the bar. You can do this. You don't have to be that, oh, we're just a little church. Look at our facility. It looks like crud. Paint it. Paint it. Well, we don't like the carpet. Get new carpet. Well, it costs a lot of money. Yes, it does. Gather people around you and say, how much money you got? I got $20. Give me your $20. How much money you got? I got 40. Give me your $40. Pretty soon you'll have enough money to buy carpet. Yes. Yes. You can do this. You don't have to have the small church mentality. It's time you get out of that. I'm not saying you got to be 11,000 people. But you have to have a different mindset. I feel like a coach right now. Okay, you can clear this height. Coach, I can't clear that height. Can't, never, did, nothing. Can't, never, did, nothing. Well, what happens if I lose? Losers never try. You're not losing if you're trying. You may not accomplish your goal, but that's okay. A loser never tries. Can't, never, did, nothing. Give it a try.